Hi everybody, welcome back to Life of the Woods Renaissance with me, Sid, and we're out here next to the mushroom biome. It's night time, so we do need to just head over there. I've decided I'm going to have a little, just a teensy little break from building. Had 3 or 4 building heavy episodes, so I wanted to just come out and do a little bit of exploring and just relax and take in the scenery around the place, to be honest. Yeah, so that's the plans for today's episode. We'll take a little bit of time to sit back and smell the roses. The beauty of course, mushroom biomes is I can do this. It doesn't really matter. Excuse me, sir, but you should not be here. Where did you spawn, my friend? No. That should not. What's the bet? There's, you see, river biome. There's your complacency for you. There were spawnable spots around the area here. Anyway, so we are back over here at Mushroom Central, and we need to work out A, where we want to go, and B, so we did a kind of a circuit that way. Now we could head and try and fill in some of this gap around here. That might not be a bad idea. Which way is that? No, that way, no, it's that way. So we could go over and try filling in some of the gaps. I think that's probably, I don't really want to get vast distances around the place. We are pretty good for food, so we should be pretty safe on that respect. And yeah, it's just, this pack is such a, well, I think anything with shaders, I've said it before, stick shaders in a pack with biomes aplenty, extra foliage, better foliage mod, and you are generally pretty much assured of a win. It will always look nice, and I don't know why it's you can take something as blocky as Minecraft and actually make it look good. It's scary in some respects, that simple ability to do things. But yeah, so we're gonna head out to a bit of unexplored terrain. We're gonna try and fill in a few holes, I think, today. We're also going to try and avoid these treacherous squid. It is, if I remember rightly, this area is quite hilly, so this could be an entertaining, because we've seen some of this, but not all of it. Whoa, slow loading, but there you go. But yeah, I'd like to try and find some more of the structures. I know there are structures I haven't seen yet, because obviously when Beef was playing it, this pack, there were structures he saw that I've not seen, so they're out there somewhere. Oh crap, yeah, pay attention. Right, so here we are. Let us go and get the book and see where we are in relation to. So we're here. So I was thinking we could try and like maybe fill in maybe even this gap over here, just kind of work across and then work up and then back down, and maybe just kind of that kind of malarkey. Of course, I am still looking for certain plants. I'm going to avoid being too plant obsessed, but that doesn't mean that we ain't looking for them. So, and I know there's no jungle plants I need and no roses I need and stuff like that. That wasn't a rose, but yeah, that's not a problem. We can enjoy the terrain around this place and just really get down and just soak up the ambience of the area, and hopefully find some interesting things to look at. I mean, we could probably need to think about on some point back at the farm a orchard. Well, we got an orchard, small ornamental orchard, I suppose. I'm thinking more of a less ornamental, more functional orchard. Yeah. Right. So, you know, I'm still here talking, and I'm kind of, half of my mind is kind of keeping my eye on these beach kangaroo ferns. We don't need it. On beach plants and stuff, which I know we're still missing some beach. We're still missing all sorts of, well, a single epiphyte off the top of my head. We're missing a whole load of forest stuff, and but I do need to try and keep my mind on the job of exploration and recording, and not purely being a single-minded, botanically obsessed person. I couldn't think of a word then. It was like, you know, that moment where you're kind of going, oh, what was the right word for someone who was obsessed with someone? An obsessive? Yeah, I thought maybe a botanically obsessive. I don't know. We do need to keep our eyes open. We need to have a good look around, and yeah, I'm going to just wander around, get a little bit away from Leaf Central, because these leafy biomes do tend to hit the FPS somewhat more than non-leafy biomes, and that can obviously have an effect on me. So let me just keep wandering a little bit. I will come back once we've got out of the Leaf Central, and wow, it is, the thing is real. I mean, look at that. These, what is this biome? I probably know. Oh, this is a rainforest. I thought that was a rainforest, though. Oh well. Yeah, it's always stunning. But let me continue on looking for water horsetail. Let me continue on looking. I've got a sneaking suspicion this is not one of the ones I'm after, but we'll grab some here anyway, and I will be back with you in a mo. Correction, it was wetlands complete now. Okay, right. Well, there you go. See, you just can't trust yourself. And that is a wetlands one, which I think goes with those there, actually, because that was one of the ones we were planning to do. Right, onwards. Let me stop obsessing, and I'll be back in a bit. Well, we're quite a bit further on, and I have a rather nice screenshot of a build I found coming around here. Now, there wasn't anything in it, insofar as it wasn't, you know, full of valuable, wonderful resources that you just simply had to pillage. It was a library, and I thought I'd recorded myself doing it, and I thought I'd recorded a few other bits while I was going, and I hadn't. Between the last clip and this, I have rebooted my machine. I have a slight problem on my machine at the moment, where periodically the memory usage ramps right up. I mean, just really crams right up to 100%. My frame rates drop. Everything just grinds to a halt. And the only fix that I found for it, obviously, is to do a reboot, which is, you know, it's good old IT tech support stuff, isn't it? Have you tried turning it on and off again? And as much as we scoff at that particular thing, and you know, you got the IT crowd and stuff making the joke of it, it is still to this day a surprisingly successful means of fixing these problems, shall we say. But so yeah, we missed that, unfortunately. I will leave that as the screenshot, just so of the thumbnail, just so if you are interested, you can go back and have a look at the thumbnail and see what it was. It was just a library, a ruined old library with some books, as I say, nothing particularly valuable in it. But and then there was another little build we came across, which actually made no sense whatsoever. So consequently, I thought I was probably 20 minutes into the episode, and I'm actually at the start of the point where I pressed record was only about 8 minutes into the episode. But while we're walking, what I want to have a chat about something dear to my heart. Yeah, it's food. Of course, what else? Good grief. So, a number of episodes, well, a number of possibly even a different series ago, I honestly can't remember what series and things I record what conversation into. Oh, hello. Oh, hey, little Nemo. I found Nemo. We discussed, or I discussed with you, the concept of comfort foods. That's more, I don't want to walk on that. Now, when I talk about comfort food, and particularly this conversation about comfort food, I wasn't talking about eating several large bars of chocolate, although that might be the case if that is your comfort food for this given scenario. I was referring to the conversation where, and I think the item of food that I'd nibbled on. That's not what I'm after. The item of food that I had, which had kind of got me getting all nostalgic at the time, had been something. It was a nice manly butch food called, which egg and soldiers. All right, it was egg and soldiers. It was egg and soldiers. But this particular food at the time I'd eaten, and it was one of my childhood foods. That's what I mean by comfort food. It is a food which you associate with that warm, comfortable, secure place in when you were growing up. Sorry, I'm going to have to check that one in a minute. I'm going to have to check it now. In fact, that forest. No, it's the yellow. I know there's a slipper involved, but yeah, that's not the one I wanted. It's the wrong kind of slipper. Anyway, so yeah, egg and soldiers was one of my real. It is a real solid comfort food for me, and periodically, you don't eat it. I don't eat it all the time, Christ, I'd have to go through it. I have to go through quite a lot of eggs to actually get a meal out of it now. It doesn't fill me up as much as it used to when I was a kid. But it was one of those things, and given the time of year, which at the time you're seeing this, we are 2 days past bonfire night, so I'm a little bit late with my reminiscing on this respect, but yeah, bear with me anyway. It's quite difficult sometimes recording to a week or so in advance because you're trying to remember what day it is that you're recording on and what day it is that you're actually recording for. But I recently got hold of some from our shop, some Yorkshire Parkin, not Parking, Parkin. And if you're not familiar with Parkin or Yorkshire Parkin, which is obviously a very, very specific distinction between your normal Parkin, it is a golden syrup based, a bit like a ginger sponge, but more golden syrup, less on the ginger kind of thing. And Parkin is one of those dishes that, for me, will always be associated to some degree with that comfort zone, that childhood comfort zone, and also with bonfire night. And again, for people who are not English or living in the UK, bonfire night is that's 1 month of the year where people set off fire. No, it seems to be that 1 month of the year where people set off fireworks. It should actually be like that one night of the year, but typically, with fireworks now being available so freely in this country, then you do tend to find that for the weeks preceding firework, there is a great clatter of explosions as people set them off. which is a bit of a pain when you have a dog who is not scared of fireworks. It is actually the opposite. She likes fireworks. She goes out and barks at fireworks. Anyway, I digress, which I so frequently do. So Yorkshire Parkin we got, and it is absolutely, I love the stuff. But it got me thinking about one of my other all-time favourite comfort foods at this time of year, and that is Bonfire Toffee. Now, I'm a fan of toffee. Toffee has a fond place in my heart anyway. Toffee was always, for me, a big thing which I associated with my grandfather. And there was two reasons for that. One is that growing up as a kid, you know, up until probably until I was 13 or so, me and my grandfather would often just get the pans out and treacle and golden syrup and sugar and all these, you know, healthy, balanced diet foods that we have that go into making toffee. And we'd often just sit there and make up a batch of homemade toffee, which invariably ended up after a few days tasting a little bit vinegar. I don't know why. I think it was because I'm trying to remember the recipe now, but there was some stuff in there you would probably never have suspected of being in a toffee recipe. But so there was that side of the toffee, which we used to make our own toffee, and yeah, you know, happy, fond memories and all that stuff. But the other one was around Christmas and also my granddad's birthday, which was February, same as mine. We would buy him, all the kids, the grandkids, and the grandkids really, me and my cousins, and we'd all go out, and he'd invariably get several boxes that were suspiciously the same shape and size and weight, and they would invariably all be boxes of Thornton's special toffee. But he never complained. He liked his toffee, like me, and so that's what he got for Christmas and birthday pretty much most years from the grandkids. So yeah, but it got me just thinking about those little things that make some of those memories that we have, those what silly little memories, those memories that make us who we are almost, that make those so special and so to us, that keep us going. And it's, I mean, part of this is obviously at the moment with the various, I've seen that with the various things going on in my life, I'm conscious of, more conscious I think of the remembering the good and the good reminiscing, not certainly not morbid reminiscing, good reminiscing. We don't want morbid reminiscing. That would be obviously morbid. I'm going to just sit there and see if we can't go, because that looks like a big ass. Yeah, doesn't really matter, does it? As long as once I intersect with that thing, I'm going to head out this way then. Yeah, and it just got me thinking about things that make us, remind us of not only those safe times when we were growing up as kids, but those the people that they remind you of. And you know, there is the stereotype of grannies and grandfathers always having the, well, I suppose from the advert point of view, they would like us to believe it was Werther's Originals, you know, sweets, but there was also something, and yeah, if it was, and bad things as well. Sometimes, I mean, God knows, do you remember those horrendous cough sweets that grandparents always used to have floating around the place? That's not what I keep looking at. Still, there's a beach plant I'm after, and it looks suspiciously like a gooseberry bush, but it's not forthcoming so far. Yeah, those horrendous, nasty, bloody cough sweets that people would have around you, and they'd tell you was, hey, I don't really want to go that far. No. Yeah, you get these cough sweets, and you'd be like, you want a sweet? And it's like, that is not a sweet. That is medicine disguised as a sweet. But even those, even in the fact that you were remembering something that was actually quite vile, actually more than quite vile, I suppose. We should keep our eyes out for penguins, shouldn't we? Even that in itself was somewhat a formative memory that becomes greater than the whole, and it's just funny. It's, you know, you sit there and you start remembering things for no reason. Anyway, I've waffled on long enough. I'm going to keep going until I'm not even going to attempt to get up that. To be fair, it's an Alp biome. I can cope with it in this pack because I'll not freeze to death, unlike I did in the Nomad episode. But I'm not sure whether I can be actually bothered to try and get to the top of an Alp biome. I assume that's Alps. It looks like Alps. But how are we doing here? Let's have a look. If we carry on heading straight north now, we should, well, straight north-ish, we should finally intersect with that biome, and then we can start to loop round again. So yeah, let me just see if I can't find anything else interesting, because Sod's Law states I'm not going to find anything now. But and I'll be back with you in a little while. You know, I know I've said this before, Mr. Pig. Sorry, it's almost like the pig's listening to me. But the views in this pack are quite simply stunning. You can just come along and just out of the blue you see the most incredible lit view. And you know, it never gets old. Hey, ow. Alright, let's I don't know whether I'll make this or not. No, I'm gonna oh, that could have been nasty. That was actually incredibly stupid, but totally worth it. Alright, anyway, so yeah, I'm about 21 minutes in, and we're just trying to get across. This area is likely to, there's one form of grass. This area is likely to have stuff that I have. Most of this I've seen Pasquet flowers. Is it a Pasquet or a Basque? I don't know. It sounds French to me. Pasquet. Okay, but the areas where we are missing most of our flowers are in the forest areas, where we need things like blood. There's so many forest flowers we need, and we're just not seeing them. Obviously those ones we mentioned before, the lupins, and all of those, which we've not seen at all, period, not once in the entire, which I genuinely do not believe they exist in this game. I think that something is stopping them spawning, because I can't believe that I have travelled as far in this world as we have travelled and not seen a single example of them. Not one. I don't recall. I mean, I may, if I had seen them, it would have to been very, very early on. I mean, the daisies, we've got all the daisies. But yeah, it's very difficult to believe that we haven't seen those carnations, aren't they? Yes, they are, and I've got all of those as well. And then there's this certain beach plants which we've just not seen. That's a sword fern. I mean, yeah, it's difficult. Are we ever going to see those? I genuinely don't know. But what I do know is that we're definitely going to take me at least another episode to, let me just slow down a bit before I walk straight into a pool of lava. It's going to take me at least another episode to manage to hike all the way back to the portal. So we are going to have a little little pondering around. A couple of episodes of this, I will try and come up with something else, some other little maybe thought-provoking snippets of thought-provokingness, whether it be your favourite foods or comfort foods, foods that remind you of if not a better time, a more innocent time. I think we are predisposed generally as a people to remember times fondly, and there is that tendency, if not careful, to remember times as better than they were. What are you? Spice bush, you say? I don't need a spice. I don't need any of this. This is all stuff. Yeah, we have a tendency to remember things as better than they were, and I think we're all guilty of it to one degree or another. Hello. Oh, if you were on Quark, you would have been burning then. You would not have been quite so quick to come out and try and kill me, which was, in hindsight, probably not the best move. Yeah, so, but until next time, I think we will call this an episode. We might be a little bit short on this one. Yeah, sometimes you go long, sometimes you go short. What more can you say? But I'm beginning to think that there are certain plants we're just not going to find, and there are certain plants which are, whilst we may have a chance of finding them, the chances are few and far between. So yeah, because I'm seeing lots and lots of stuff that I've already got, and very little of the stuff that I haven't already got. But let's have a look. Just finish off where we are. Let's go over here. Comment out. So we're kind of coming down the middle between there and there at the moment. Need to watch out for that. We don't want to go too far astray either direction, but this is not an exact science. We're not quartering the terrain in precise segments. We're just out here looking for stuff that's interesting, and hopefully next time I find something interesting, successfully recording it rather than not, as the case was the last time I found something interesting. But until next time, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you soon, and bye for now.